A divided Supreme Court on Monday ruled that the Constitution does not guarantee a condemned prisoner painless death, effectively clearing the way for the execution of an inmate suffering from a rare disease. Russell Bucklew, an inmate in Missouri who had won a stay of his execution from the Supreme Court last year, argued that lethal injection would cause him agony by rupturing blood-filled tumors that cover much of his body, the result of an unusual condition known as cavernous hemangioma. He did not challenge the constitutionality of capital punishment or contest his guilty verdict but instead asked the court to allow him to be executed by lethal gas. The Supreme Court, however, ruled 5-4 that pain inflicted during an execution does not necessarily violate the Constitution's protection against cruel and unusual punishment. Related content. Less than half say death penalty is fair. The Eighth Amendment forbids cruel and unusual methods of capital punishment but does not guarantee a prisoner a painless death, Justice Neil Gorsuch, a conservative appointed to the High Court by President Donald Trump in 2017, wrote in the opinion. Gorsuch added, as originally understood, the Eighth Amendment tolerated methods of execution, like hanging, that involved a significant risk of pain, while forbidding as cruel only those methods that intensified the death sentence by superadding terror, pain or disgrace. Missouri allows both lethal injection and gas to be used in executions, but it has only employed lethal injection in recent years. Bucklew in 1996 was convicted of murdering Michael Sanders, who was living with Bucklew's former girlfriend at the time. Bucklew in the incident fatally shot Sanders, kidnapped and raped his former girlfriend, shot at Sanders' young son, and injured a police officer. The ruling fell along ideological lines, with the court's 5 conservative justices voting to allow Bucklew's execution by lethal injection to proceed and the justices in the court's liberal wing dissenting. Justice Stephen Breyer, in a dissent, repeated an argument from 2015, contending that it may be that there simply is no constitutional way to implement the death penalty. The ruling is the latest indication that the court, under the conservative majority most recently reinforced by the appointments of Gorsuch and Justice Brett Kavanaugh, has tilted further in favor of upholding the death penalty. Notably, it was former Justice Anthony Kennedy, whom Kavanaugh replaced this year and who often voted with the court's conservative wing, who joined the court's 4 liberal justices last year to stay Bucklew's execution. The ruling Monday also came less than 2 months after the justices voted 5-4 to allow an execution of a Muslim convict in Alabama to proceed even though the state had barred an imam from being by the man's side during the execution.